had a lot of beer. Hello, my friends. It's that time of year again, the time for lederhosen and libations, specifically Oktoberfest beers. Now, Oktoberfest, Marzen style, same thing. We are going to go through 7 of them today. There's a special one if you stick to the end. This is Shiner's Oktoberfest. It's a Marzen style beer, it says. Let's get after it. Okay, she's pouring a nice color. That dark, reddish, orangish color is exactly what we're looking for. You can see, it's going to look a little red there. It's awfully red, which is not a bad thing. A reddish color on it, that's perfectly fine. This pillowy white head that's kind of sticking around here, that's a good sign too. Let's stick a nose in it. Okay, the malt's there. I'm not getting any of the sugariness. They shouldn't be sugary. There's some nice biscuit notes there. Can't really get any hops out of that. That's a good thing. Let's go for a taste. Yeah, so it should have a malty flavor to it that should kind of hint at being sweet, but it should finish kind of dry. It's a little too sweet. It's almost like a candy corn in there. I don't think I'm digging this one. It smells good. Looks great. Nope, tastes like candy. There's a little bit of a hoppiness in there, which isn't bad. That's okay. There can be a little bit of a bite, but it just keeps coming. That sweetness is just really too far forward. I'm gonna give this about a 3 out of 5 for Marzen. It's good beer. Wouldn't want to drink more than one, and really wouldn't want to have it with a lot of food. And that was Shiner's Oktoberfest, their Marzen style beer. We'll have to try another one. Next, Titletown's Bent Tuba Oktoberfest. Haven't had this one, I don't believe. Titletown, of course, is out of Green Bay, Wisconsin. They make some pretty good beers. We'll see how they do. That is coming out quite orange. That's a good thing. Love how that head's coming up. That is bright and clear. Nice looking beer. The head on that is just the way you'd want it. That nice white head that's sticking around. Sticking a nose in it. Okay, so the malt's there. Something I'm not quite digging on that. I'm not getting the brightiness that I should. It's not toasty at all. It's making me a little skittish on this one. Looks good. Smells iffy. Let's try it. Pleasant, not very sweet. The mouthfeel is way smooth. Okay, so Oktoberfests are supposed to be, they are lagers. And this tastes like a lager, but there's not a lot of rich maltiness in there. I'm going in again. Yeah, I don't know. I think as a beer, it's good. Something still off on that smell. Not malty enough and a little thin. I'm going to give it about 3.5 stars out of 5. It's good. It's not terribly representative of the style. I'd hate to have somebody have this and think, oh, that's what an Oktoberfest tastes like. It's not. Not too shabby, I suppose. So that was Bent Tuba and Oktoberfest from Titletown. On to the next one, I think. Here we have Oktoberfest, spelled with an OC instead of an OK. That's alright, because that's okay if you spell it with an OC. Really, really fine beers. I have not had their Oktoberfest. I am looking forward to this one. Lighter orange than some of the other Oktoberfests. Very bright. The head, I don't know if you can see that, is kind of vanishing. It should stick around a little more. Wonder what that foretells. Stick a nose in it. It's smelling a little aged. There's brightiness there, but it's light. It's in the back. The malt is present in the aroma. Not where I'd like it. It's a little toasty, so I don't know. Heads down, color's okay. The nose is not. It's not where it needs to be. It should be toastier. It should be breadier. Should at least get a little biscuit out of it. Maybe a little biscuity, just a little bit. I don't know. Let's give it a taste. Smooth, light, not overly sweet. Finish isn't quite as dry as I'd like. That retronasal olfaction.
Retronasal olfaction.
Coming through with some of those bready notes, but it's really it's a light bread. It's not toasty. I'm not getting the richness that I want to out of the malt. A little bit of a bite at the end. A bit of the hops coming through on that. Easily drinkable, but I'm not grooving on it. It's okay. It's not great. It's drinkable. The mouthfeel is way too light. The maltiness is just not there. That richness that I'm looking for isn't there. It isn't overly sweet. It does finish dry. It's going back and forth. This is about a 3.25 to a 3.5. I'll say 3.5 because I like bells. It's just not. It's not deep enough. Not rich enough. It doesn't say, "Hey, fall's coming." Go again. Yeah, I don't mind going back to it, but it's not what I'm hoping for out of an Oktoberfest. So that was Oktoberfest from Bell's out of Comstock, Michigan. I don't know. I think we can do better. Let's dive back into it. Here we have Oktoberfest from Great Lakes. This is, what do they say about this one? A Marzen style lager. Okay, we're back to Marzen style. That's what a lot of these have been saying. Great Lakes, out of Cleveland. Magnificent brewery. Really love a lot of their stuff, and I have high hopes for this one. Let's give it a taste. Ooh, nice and rich in color. That's a dark orange. I like that. That is spot on. That is what it's supposed to be, folks. Now, it's going to look a little red to you, I think, but that's just a trick of the camera. Head is staying right there. White, just a touch off-white. Wow. Stick a nose in it. There it is. Yeah, okay. So there is, that toastiness is there. That breadiness is there. There's a touch of biscuit in that. I'm not getting any hoppy notes. Maybe just a floral little note in the back end. Yeah, that's what I hoped it would smell like. That is what I hope an Oktoberfest would smell like. I'm going in. Here it is. Rich, not heavy. Bit of weightiness to it with that malt. That toastiness to it is really good. There's a sweetness that's carried through. I'm getting a little caramel, which is not something you want from these. Strangely enough, might be a little overly sweet. It's not finishing as dry as it should. I'm gonna go back in. No, it's a little sweet. It's a little heavy. It's a little too much. I'm a little disappointed, but not hugely disappointed. The mouth feels spot on. It's a little creamy. The head is kind of going away a bit. I still think it's a little too sweet. Not perfection yet, but it's getting there. So I'd give it, for the style, I'd give it a 4 out of 5. Maybe a little more than a 4. That sweetness is lingering. There's almost a hoppy bitterness that's coming along with it too. So that was Great Lakes Oktoberfest from Cleveland, Ohio. It is the highest ABV of the Oktoberfests I'm trying this year at 6.5. Whew. That sweetness and that high-end ABV, I don't think I'm going to have too many of these. Let's try something from Sheboygan now. Quick side note, I've not been drinking the entirety of all these beers. You're seeing everything that I'm drinking, maybe a sip afterwards, and then the rest is going to my wife. She tries it, gives her opinion. She's kind of with me on all these so far, and then it's disposed of because it's a lot of beer to try in one evening. Can't drink all of them, but the ones I like, I'm going back and buying more. Here we have Three Sheep's Oktoberfest Marzen beer. I think this is the only one that actually calls itself a Marzen beer, all one word, with the umlaut over the A. Let's give it a try. Okay. That's pretty rich. Ooh, look at that head, though. Very red. I think to you it's going to look even more reddish than it truly is. It's a reddish orange. Boy, there's a lot of red in there. It doesn't look like a red beer, though. The head is outstanding. The head's a little yellower than usually you see on a Marzen, but that's not a bad thing. Stick a nose in it. Ooh, very rich. Yeah, ooh, wow, the grains are right there. Very bready, a little toasty. It's really nice. Good scent on it. You can see how that's kind of sticking around that head there. Just give it a taste. Oh, ooh, yeah, ooh. That's hitting all the right notes. There's that toastiness is there, that breadiness is there, that richness. That's like a hint of, there's like, okay, it's going to be sweet, and then it doesn't end up being sweet. So yeah, the flavor's there, the color's there, the mouthfeel's there. It's pretty good. There's a couple of notes in there in the flavor that I'm not quite digging. There's almost like the hops that they used maybe wasn't quite what I'd like, because it's the back notes, it's the final ones. And I think that's the little bit of weirdness that I'm picking up out of the nose. This is 4.5 stars on the 5-star Marzen scale. I kind of like this one. So that was Three Sheep's Oktoberfest Marzen style. Marzen beer, sorry. Not too bad. Not too bad at all. Kind of like it. On to the next one. Going back to an old friend this Oktoberfest. It's New Glarus's Staghorn Oktoberfest beer. You know, they come out with this every year. Every year you got to get some. It's a little different every year. Hopefully, this time around, it's good stuff. Yep, orangey. Touch of red in there. Kind of liking how that's looking. Ooh, it's a little orangier than some of the other Oktoberfests. A good, white, solid head on that. This is, of course, New Glarus is from New Glarus, Wisconsin. This particular one is a 6.25, which is kind of pushing the edge of the Marzen ABV, but not going to hold that against him. Stick a nose in it. Yep, just toasty goodness. So the carbonation is kind of coming with some of that. Toastiness is riding it right up there. There's like a little shortbreadiness. Not getting any kind of hop note out of it, and that's okay. Let's try. Okay. It comes in really sweet, but the sweetness mostly goes away. There's still a little bit hanging in there. Probably more than it should, but the overall rich malt flavor that you're looking for, that toasted, roasted kind of flavor is there. I'm liking it. I like it. I'm having a hard time pulling anything that I don't like out of it. It might be just a touch sweet, but that's not putting me off. I'm just trying to match that against a Marzen. There's a little bit of a hop note at the end in the aftertaste. I don't think that's a bad thing. You don't want much. I'm going to get, this is like a 4.5 out of 5. Maybe a little further than that. Maybe a 4.75. This is pretty close to what a Marzen's supposed to be. I like it. And I'm not overly partial. Just because they're New Glarus, and you can only get it here in Wisconsin. No, they're doing a fine job. They're doing a fine job with this. I'm going back in. Yeah, you don't regret a 6-pack of that. Never going to regret a 6-pack of Staghorn. So that was Staghorn Oktoberfest from New Glarus. I'm digging it. Not perfect. Don't know that anything is. But it's getting mighty close to what a Marzen's exactly supposed to taste like. I wonder if they could do any better further south. It's only a sip out of some of these beers, but it's still a lot of beer. This is Potosi's Oktoberfest, another Marzen style lager. I love Potosi. They make some really, really good beer. I got a soft spot in my heart for them. It's one of the reasons I saved it for the last of the Oktoberfest that I'm going to try, except for the special one. Let's try it. They're out of Potosi, Wisconsin, by the way. Definitely worth a stop. There's that orangey color. The head's coming up nicely. That's a beautiful color. I don't know if you can tell. Yeah, it's just going to look red on that camera. I'm so sorry about that. But it is, the orange of the can, it is really close. It just looks red on camera, so I do apologize for that. The head is white, which is cool. Maybe a touch off white. And definitely holding its own. Stick a nose in it. Yeah, there's maltiness. Yeah, so you take a nice big breath in. Really draw it into the nasal passages, and you get that roastiness. Gotta try a little harder. A little harder than, well, a little harder than you'd like. No, all the right notes on that one. That is really, really nice. I'm gonna have to try it. Let's go in. Wow, that finish is dry. There's supposed to be the idea of sweetness as the roasted malts kind of come in, and that's supposed to carry that through. It doesn't do that. There's just a little sweetness as it comes through, just a touch, and then it just goes away, and I'm left with a very hoppy kind of dryness to it, where your tongue is feeling a little fuzzy. That's where I'm at with that. Sure smells maltier now, which is usually the case. I always want to smell something after you've taken a drink, just to make sure it was the same as when you smelled it to begin with. You'll get more out of it that way. It's that retronasal olfaction. I'm going in again. It's clean. It's a little too bitter. I'm getting too much of the hops of that. Not bad. Not bad by a long shot. I don't know. The carbonation in it is maybe a little hotter than it should be. I don't know. One more time. Yeah, it's too light, but then finishes super dry. Doesn't have the maltiness that I really want out of it. Slightly disappointed. So that was Tosi's Oktoberfest, their Marzen style lager. I'm going to give it a 4.1 to a 4.2. We'll go 4.25. 4.25. We'll say 4.25. Kind of worth a try. Time for the surprise beer. This is Athletic Brewing Company's Oktoberfest brew. This is less than 0.5% alcohol. This is essentially non-alcoholic beer. Full disclosure, I've drank the heck out of a bunch of these this past month and a half since it's been out. I'm normally not a fan of Athletic's NAs. I don't think they make very good ones most of the time. This is a major exception to that rule. Let me show you. Now, the first thing you'll notice is that doesn't look anything like a Marzen. That is because it is nothing like a Marzen. On camera, that's going to look a lot more orange than it does to me. To me, this looks like corn flour. This is very, very yellow. This is not what I would call a Marzen, but it's awfully close in color to a fest beer. I'm going to give this the same treatment that I would give any other beer, even though an NA can't play the same game, really. You can see that the head is vanishing very rapidly. Color's not quite right. All right, I'm going to stick a nose in it. Yeah, so it smells, it has that canned foot odor. That's what most NAs have. I don't know what it is that they do to them. There's 3 different ways you can make an NA. And I think what they do is they do that reverse osmosis thing. Yeah, it just doesn't have a good smell to it. On a scale of 1 to 5 for a smell of a beer, this is a 0.75. Wait a minute, that's pretty close to a 0.5. I see how the world works. None of the NAs really have a great nose to them. The trick with these is to go for the taste. So here we go. And see, that just tastes like a solid beer. When I say a solid beer, I mean a very light beer. Easy to drink, has that NA kind of tang to it. There is nothing about this that says Oktoberfest. There is nothing about this that says Marzen. There's a few things that say fest beer, which is a light version kind of stuff you'd see actually in Munich if you went to Oktoberfest, but it doesn't taste like that. However, as far as a non-alcoholic beer goes, it's pretty light, it's pretty refreshing. It's a solid NA. It's okay. I like it. Not the best one I've ever had. Probably not even the top 10, but for Athletic, it's really knocking it out of the park. And the nice thing is, 70 calories. Am I going to finish it? Absolutely, I'm going to finish this. Not going to enjoy it as much as I would enjoy some other Oktoberfests, but I am going to finish it. So, till next time, my friends. Hope you're happy. Hope you're healthy. Thinking of you all the time. Remember, drink good beer. I wish the other ones were NAs that tasted like this. No, I wish this one tasted like the other ones that weren't NAs. That's what I wish. Happy Oktoberfest, everyone.